Alright, the nigger rigging going into this is getting stronger. Alright? Now, before it was just the tablet case holding it up on a ladder, but now it's the tablet case holding it up on the ladder, plus the charger coming up through a hole in the ladder so it doesn't die on us. What are we
Would
even
you
doing?
like to mention that it is like hooked up to your lights?
Yeah, no, yeah. You see, I don't know if these are in it, but they go more or less around my room. So instead of an extension cord, we have the lights just extending over there, plus an actual extension cord. So, you know, we have the greatest setup. Ninja would be jealous.
He would be.
What are we doing? I asked. What?
Oh, this is the official synopsis for Avengers Endgame.
Right. I need my book.
Massive spoilers to follow.
Massive spoilers. Hold on.
Hold on, that's a religious book.
Shh. That's why it's here. That's why I'm using it.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. I found it. Alright. So it opens on Thanos fingering death with the gauntlet. Now, wonderful reference to, the comics. However, I think it moved.
It's fine.
Whatever. However, I've never heard so many children ask, "Mom, what are they doing?" Like, in unison. Now, it cuts to, like, Tony and Nebula on the ship that you see in the trailers, and they decide they're not gonna make it. So they decide to have an autoerotic asphyxiation sex scene, but right before that, Tony decides to call Pepper and says that they need to name the kid Nebula, for no particular reason, Shortly after that, they're saved by Bucky. Yeah, everyone thought he was dead, but when he got snapped, he got sent into space with his own personal spaceship. So, saved, and Tony is so grateful that he decides to kiss Bucky. Now, let me just mention now, the Iron Man Cap Bucky love triangle, great. I loved it.
He's brave.
However, shortly after the whole Iron Man Bucky love scene, there's about 27 minutes of Drax masturbating. In heaven, by the way. Super out of place. Still not out of place as as Hulk Black Widow romance. Iron Man Black Widow would have been better. Speaking of Hulk, he dies. Not Bruce, just the Hulk. Bruce actually gets a job as a teacher. Now, this happens, like, really early in the movie. Now, I was like, why doesn't he just use the Hulkbuster and keep fighting? But no, he's teaching philosophy now. Anyway.
Hey, what did you think of the brave choice to, when they have Black Panther show up, that everybody always refers to him as the Nigger Panther? What did you think about that?
Now, this was a very interesting and risky move.
Because I didn't know Disney would use slurs like that.
I didn't either, but I felt like it was necessary when they shot him back in time.
I agree.
So, what happens after that? Oh yeah, Captain America, he decides to make a new team, in which he calls it the A-Team. In this team, we have Rocky Balboa, Mr. T, 3 other old guys that we don't care about, a bad animation of Homer Simpson and Robin Williams as Mrs. Doubtfire. That was something about a Fox merger or some shit. And then they decide to cut in on Doctor Strange. He's just sipping a cup of tea. Like, they make sure to cut back to that frequently. Like, too often.
More than was needed.
A lot more than what was needed. So when they finally go to suit up to... by the way, I'm not reading anything. It's my phone. When they decide to suit up and go finally fight Thanos, how they found him was actually genius. In the first movie, behind the scenes, they give Ant-Man a tracker, and he hides it up Thanos' ass. You thought they didn't think of it, but they thought of it. Where was I? Now, the Iron Man suicide scene. I feel like we need to talk about this.
I agree.
Right? Now,
it was moving. I cried.
I cried too. Not because Tony's a moving character. It's just how they dealt with it. I mean, like, at first you're thinking, wow, that's really dark for a Disney Marvel movie. But then you think it was almost earned when, Bucky chooses Cap over him,
I agree.
It was really good. Now, here was a controversial change, but I thought it was great. Recasting Nick Fury as Danny DeVito, awesome. best Danny DeVito performance ever. He brought his own 2 eye patches. However, somebody should have told him he was not on the set for It's Always Sunny. He kept referring to everybody as Dan. It worked. It worked. I don't know what to tell you. You'll just have to see that. Now, when everybody leaves, to go fight Thanos, Pepper realizes that Tony's not coming back. So Black Widow, she stays behind. She sees her chance, and she injects Pepper with a babyfication needle, right? Now, they just come up with this futuristic shit on the spot. Just babyfication needle. Jab it in her neck. She's pregnant. And it was like a rapid pregnancy. She gets pregnant and gives birth all in the same scene. And then they decide, you know what? We're going to name this kid after both Iron Man and Black Widow. They named the kid Black Man. It was awesome. Now, after that, it was a really, really bold move on their part to kill the other half of the Avengers. Like, the snap wasn't enough. They just had to finish the job. Thanos swiftly just cuts them all down. Didn't even need to snap this time. He just did it. And after that, they had a whole, false climax. And it was really great. Alright? They started playing the song You've Got a Friend in Me. And that's when you think Peter Quill's gonna do another dance-off. But no. Ant-Man explodes out of Thanos. Remember, he was up his anus earlier? Just boom. Alright? But remember I said it was a false climax, because then Ant-Man kind of just assimilates into Thanos' viscera and becomes Fat-Manos. Alright? Now, he's just like Thanos, except he has the power to grow and shrink on command, even though he probably could have done that anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. After Fat-Manos becomes Fat-Manos, he decides our job here is done, so he calls all the children of Fat-Manos and tells them to mass suicide. They all just take, really realistic guns and just shoot themselves in the head, and there were just so many crying kids in that theater. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
It was bullshit.
You could not console them when they had to watch their favorite characters die graphically.
Ugh, it was a bad one.
I was very upset when Cull Obsidian died.
So at this point you may be thinking, how are they going to pull this back? How are they going to do this? They got to kill Thanos. You may have thought that in the first movie also, and the answer is the same. They don't. Thanos wins. Where was I? Oh, shit, there goes my phone.
Professionalism, 10 out of 10.
Oh, why, thank you. Would drop phone again.
Mm-hmm.
So, because Red Skull was contractually obligated to be in 3 movies, but died in the first one, he was kind of just, feeding Thanos grapes, Greek style. I mean, they had to throw him in somewhere, contracts and all that. So this is when the after-credit scenes start. Alright? Now, after-credit scene 1, there's 3 of them. Quill is sitting there aggressively masturbating to the thought of Gamora. And at that point, Captain Marvel shows up, and she gets downgraded from awesome female protagonist to love interest. Great. They had to do something with the character. MCU's being over soon. Now, the second credit scene, Captain America and Rocky Balboa are both, incredibly old, and they think, we gotta make a new team. They call it America World Police. Then, Fat-Manos shows up with a gray pistol in his gauntlet hand, shoots both of them, and does the default Fortnite dance. I was proud.
Same.
No, couldn't have ended any other way. Except it ended this way, because there's a third after-credit scene. And the last one, you see, Rocket Raccoon is flying away in his spaceship, and then it just kind of fades to black, and it says in white text, "The Guardians of the Galaxy will return." And then more white text fades, or appears under it, in parentheses, directed by a pedophile. And then it's over.
What did you think of this masterpiece?
I thought this movie went a little too far in some places.
But not far enough in other places.
Yeah, look.
Look, my favorite... How about my favorite part?
Mm-hmm.
Was when they had Black Panther get shot by police.
Oh, yeah, there was a whole,
Sorry, Nigger Panther.
Yeah, that guy. He was, it was a whole, segregation thing, because he was back in time, and they thought he was a runaway slave. He didn't have his suit. They just shot him.
Point blank.
It was like a musket too. I was like, damn, that's how we're gonna do my man's Black Panther. I'm sorry, Nigger Panther.
I cried.
Oh yeah, there were so many tears throughout this movie. The Tony suicide scene, the fact that the Hulk death scene, that was a tragic one, even though Bruce survived. But I think this movie's good. It's maybe not the right send-off for what is predominantly a PG-13 series.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting move, a bold move to have this one be NC-17.
I know, it was good movie though. Good movie. I liked it.
A little too long for my taste.
Oh, it was like 5 hours?
Yeah.
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 But yeah, this review is dragging on.
What was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene was the scene where they all come back and half of them decide to just commit suicide on the spot. But like, I feel like it would have been better if they like showed it instead of just had them walk off screen and then hear gunshots.
Yeah.
Like that was a cop out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it costs more to fake more bullets?
Yeah. But bye.
Yeah. Well, I will see you guys.
One of us is gonna have to walk up and hit the button. Is it gonna be me?
It's me.
Okay. I'm not cutting that out.